All right, headed to Huntsville, Alabama. We're about here, 5 minutes from the dealership. Had an issue with the Slingshot it's really the first issue I ever had. I've mentioned it a couple of times. There's a couple of service warning lights on the dashboard that keeps the cruise control from working. It doesn't really affect the Slingshot, not in any bit, but it keeps the cruise control from working. And that cruise control is a valuable thing on these Slingshot rides. You can take a long 40, 50, 60 mile stretch of nice roadway. That cruise control could really be valuable. This is a common problem in the Slingshot world. A lot of people get these lights on with the 2020 models and up. One of them is what everybody calls the traction lights. Some people say that's not traction, but we don't know what it is. It's the emblem for traction looks like the same thing for this. So everybody calls it the traction light warning. Then there's another one on that we have no idea what it is. But out of everybody who's ever said, well, this is what's wrong, and this, if you talk to 10 people are going to tell you why their light came on if they got it resolved. Somebody just a couple of weeks ago gave me the closest diagnostic that I can figure out. When they set the steering wheels on these Slingshots, they're set inside what they call like teeth. And if those teeth are off, if you got it like one or two teeth to the left or one or two to the right, it causes like what the diagnostic said was a steering wheel abnormality. So I'm thinking out of everything it could be, is this it? So we're supposed to be doing an in and out today. They're supposed to get on it, be done, so we can get it on back to current. And they can't keep it because we have to be at a Slingshot rally Friday. So no, they can't keep it at all. We can't get back up here before Friday. So we were supposed to be here by 9:30. I've got 8 minutes, but I'm only like a mile or two away. I told him I'd be there at 9, but he told me 9:30.
In 1 mile, turn right into the parking lot.
So we'll see. Hopefully that's it. I'm gonna try to get at least a picture, a video of those lights on my steering wheel. I mean on my dash. Hopefully I can get it taken care of, and that'll resolve absolutely every issue for the most part that we've had with the Slingshot. We've had it here before. They've took care of everything. Everything that's ever happened, they've fixed it. But this one issue, nobody's ever been able to resolve it, and it's time to get it fixed. So hopefully they can take care of it today. Okay, those are those warning lights I was talking about, not the parking brake, but that traction looking light and that light right there. They've been on, and it's time to get them off. So we are here at the dealership. Let's try to get it taken care of. All right, we was headed back to the dealership and saw them. Guy was doing a test drive on a Slingshot, so hopefully they're done with it. We were going ourselves, then we had to run back to the store real quick. But he was got it in and parked it in the parking lot, so hopefully they're done. They're supposed to call me when they're done. So if they're done, I'm sure they've got a little paperwork to do. Maybe they'll call us and we can go get it, head back to Mississippi. So let's get in there and see.
Back to the right bank.
Okay, nothing, no lights. They said they got it fixed. So far so good. I'll give an explanation in just a second. But we are about to head back to Mississippi. My wife is supposed to be behind me, we couldn't, the traffic was bad getting out of there. We couldn't get out. And when we had to cross the highway, we had to stop in the center lane, and only one could get out of time. So I don't know where she's at. I've been trying to slowpoke around, make sure nothing went wrong before I got away too far, but I'm gonna give her a couple of more minutes. Hopefully she's not too far behind. All right, we're headed on home. Looking at his report of the issues they found, from what I can gather out of what he said, which is what we've been told many times, that's just not an issue. Whatever the problem is, they couldn't seem to find it to fix. There was nothing to fix. So, in so many words, I gather out of this, they make those little card scanner readers that'll tell what's wrong with your car. And the one for the Polaris Slingshot's $180. We've actually been meaning to get one to try to get that light off ourselves. And from what I can gather out of everything he put in here, that's pretty much what they done. This is what he said. Case credit with Polaris, tested entire circuit pertaining to the steering angle sensor, which is what our issue was. Continued testing to find the issue with no resolve. Test showed out of spec resistance, which is what we had knew when we got here. Replugged entire circuit and trouble code went away. Replugged it, and yeah, that sounds just like a scanner thing that they just erased the dash messages, is what it sounds like. Tested circuit again at diagnostic plug and proved still out of spec with steering angle reading properly. Still out of spec, but the steering angle was reading properly. I mean, that doesn't even make sense. That's just like saying go left and go right. Still out of spec with steering angle reading properly. I mean, why would it read properly if it was out of spec? That's just crazy. Unresolved issue. It still calls for concern. With tech working to find solution. Unit does not have any active codes at this time. That tells me they got one of those readers and just turned the light off. So I'm gonna be back in just a second to finish this, to pretty much sum up what just happened. All right, let me sum up what happened today over the whole situation. We got the Slingshot in November of 22 after a 5-month wait. In April of 23, for whatever reason, a service light came on. A warning light. Not a check engine light, but a warning light. We had no idea, but it happens to so many of them that are built after 2020. Within a few more months, another warning light came on. As things would get done to the Slingshot light, we had to get a new radiator once. When he put that new radiator in, the lights went off. We were like, wow, okay. But they didn't stay off. They were off maybe 2-3 weeks. They came back on. There's other times we've got other things done to it. Like put lights on it, just anything. And the lights might go off, but only stay off an hour. 2 hours. Then they're right back on. And then it just finally got to the point where the lights just never, ever went off. Just like I said, once these warning lights are on, it causes the cruise control not to work. Cruise control is convenient, but especially in something like a Slingshot, like my side-by-side, for instance. My side-by-side, when you get a car, your steering wheel, not your steering wheel, your gas pedal is right there, literally an inch and a half, 2 inches at most off the ground. And things like my side-by-side, the gas pedal is several inches off the ground to the point where you have to hold your leg almost from resting on the ground to match the gas pedal. Extremely uncomfortable after a while, and that's kind of to the point like a Slingshot is. After a while, they can get uncomfortable holding that gas pedal. Cruise control is really needed. So around June, July of 23, we got it to the first dealership in Batesville to try to get those lights off. They looked at it, said nothing's wrong with it. The lights are just on for no reason at all. We're gonna put a new wiring harness on it. Give us 2 months, we're busy. Gotta get the wiring harness ordered, and in 2 months, call us back, we'll be ready to fix it and put the new wiring harness on it. Which to me, a wiring harness sounded extremely major for a couple of lights, but that's what they said. So we gave them 2 months, called them back. They didn't have a mechanic. And they never ordered the wiring harness. They didn't even have it or order it. Come on, 2 months. We were trying to deal with the dealership in Athens, Alabama also. Biggest mistake of our life. I would rather bungee jump than ever deal with Athens, Alabama. No service after the sale, and I'm gonna leave it at that. So over the next little bit, I think once or twice more, we tried to get somebody to take the lights off, and then late October of 24, our warranty was getting ready to expire. It was going to expire in November. Even though we got the extended warranty, we were going to use our original warranty to get some warranty work done. And one of the things we needed was to get these service lights off. Well, we needed like 4 things done, and they did 3 of them. But it's like they just ignored those lights. They just didn't take them serious. And they did nothing with them. We got it back, the lights were still on. So here we are in August of 25. And for whatever reason, we're like, that's it. We want these lights off. We were looking it up, and it found a couple of little quick fixes. And one of them seemed to work for a second. What was causing one of those lights to come on was had something to do with the steering wheel. Out of specs, just out of specs, and this car behind me going crazy. Okay, the steering wheel was out of specs. We tried a little quick fix, and it actually worked for a little bit. But would it been out of specs? Better not get up on my wife. Driving like he's crazy. Ain't got nowhere to go. Would have been out of specs, even once the light went off. The second you turned that steering wheel again, the light popped back on. So we made an appointment. They told us to come down. If you make an appointment, they will get to you that day. If you don't make an appointment and just drop it off, it's forever before they can get to you. So she does it. One second. Okay. So we were about to order one of those little gadgets that you hook up and it can tell what's wrong with your car, a code reader, and it was supposed to take off any warning lights. It's $180, plus you have to buy this extra little $10 attachment to go with it. So with tax and everything, it'd probably been about $200. We never did get one ordered, so we brought it in today, and they did a great job. They got straight to it, and they got the lights off. And they told us that they called Polaris, and Polaris sent them some software of how to do things to get it off. But that's just not what the paper says. The paper says would have been out of specs, and they couldn't figure out what was wrong. Just like Batesville told us, there was nothing wrong with it in the beginning. The lights were just on. But they're saying it was out of specs, and and they hooked it up to something and couldn't figure it out, and they just literally just turned it off with that code reader. That's what I got out of that paperwork. So, but they're off. They're off. We've been driving about an hour now, and they haven't came back on. So we're hoping that done it. We're hoping that done it. If they do come back on, we're gonna go in and order one of those code readers to have take care of these little problems ourselves. We may as well, between the gas it took to get here, $40 in my car, $40 in her thing, that's $80. By the time we messed around and ate, she went to a couple of stores. She may as well have bought the thing. That would have saved us all this trouble today. She took a day off work. Overtime she missed, but it probably came out better buying the thing. But hey, for now, at least it's working. Use that cruise control and everything is back to perfect on the Slingshot. So hey, that's what we had. Appreciate everybody's time, you too, and catch y'all next time.